Hey there, everybody. Thank you for joining me for another one-man review. Today is another one of the books that I got in the Fantagraphics Fantabucks sale. I pre-ordered everything that I wanted from Fantagraphics for the rest of the year and then cashed in all of the gift certificates I got on a bunch of their older books that I've either wanted or that looked cool when I was browsing through their online store. Today I've got Black River by Josh Simons. I was first exposed to Josh's work when Partners and Sons sent me this book, his Birth of the Bat, in one of the retailer grab bags that I do. I really liked the art in this book. It was totally over the top, violent, and kind of grotesque, but I liked the art. So I was curious to see what else he does. Black River is kind of in the same vein. It's not a parody, but it's definitely still an extremely violent book. It's pretty much like a Walking Dead type of book without the zombies in it. It's just like a group of women and one guy that's tagging along with them, surviving in some post-apocalyptic world. It's not really explained why the world fell apart or what's going on, but they're scavenging and trying to find a safer place to live and encountering a bunch of scumbags and getting in fights and blowing people up and just a lot of rape and violence and stuff like that. So it's pretty intense. I think that's maybe his Simmons's MO, is to go into uncomfortable and gross territory. He seems to revel in that a bit, which isn't exactly my thing. But he does really great art. Like, he's really good cartooning, really good high contrast art. Like this drawing here of the Aurora Borealis, I think is really beautiful. So there's something about his work that still pulls me in. The way this book is printed is really nice too. It's on a kind of a cream paper, but the black is like really thick and dense. It's like darker than I'm used to seeing on uncoated paper, or maybe it's slightly coated. I'm not sure, but it's a really nice. You see, there's pretty foul language in there. Yeah, it's a really nice print quality. So this band of people and their dogs, they wander around and they get in these different situations. They come across different, like, bizarre social situations. So a post-apocalyptic comedy club, and everything always just devolves into kind of mindless violence and trying to keep the group alive and together and getting vengeance. But you can see how nice the art is in these situations. My biggest problem with this is that all of the violence and stuff, just like, here's a good, just chop, and you curse. It seems there just for violence sake. It doesn't really have any point or emotional impact. Like with Walking Dead, when something really gnarly goes down, you've gotten to know the characters really well, and it's a really shocking moment. And Robert Kirkman has these really good sense of like timing things, pacing out the things. In such a short book like this, you just don't really get to spend that time with the characters. So it seems more just like a setup to draw scenes like this than it is a character study or anything like that. So I think that's the weakness of a book. I'm starting to think a little bit more, because a lot of the manga that I'm reading, about pacing of stories, and I'm almost getting to the point where I feel like things need to be really short and just get the point across, like you're selling a philosophical point, or they need to be longer and really explore character. It seems like lately I've been having a harder time enjoying these like mid-sized books. I don't know if that's just a personal preference that I'm building, or if it is like a constraint of the storytelling in that kind of size, or it's just I'm not getting books where people are using the size right. But something I'm thinking a lot about for my own work now, like how to properly space things. And I'm probably, just because of constraints, going to wind up making work shorter than it should be. Like, I'm going to commit the same mistake, I think. But it's something I'm thinking about. My other problem with this book is that from the beginning to here, in 102 pages, this is kind of the compression that I'm talking about. You jump like 12 years. The character mentions, it's like, hey, that's 12 years ago since we started searching for this town, Gattenberg, which is at the beginning of the book. So that gives that hint of the compression I'm talking about, that I felt like it was just a setup for these grotesque scenes more than anything else. And then the ending I found very bizarre. There's this character who I went back and looked for, and I found a couple people with pointy hats, but this character just kind of like is covering up their footsteps in the snow and just wandering off. So I don't feel like there was really an end to the story either. I think this is definitely like more of a mood piece, more of a kind of something that's intended to be visceral than it is to be like a character exploration or some really thoughtful point that's being made about the end of the world. But this last scene seems like there's something that the artist is trying to say that I just wasn't quite picking up on. So again, with Simon's, like, something about his books, I enjoy it. I'm intrigued. Like, I want to see more, but it just still doesn't feel like a fully resolved statement. Same thing with The Birth of the Bat. It was like interesting while I was reading it, but I didn't know why someone would make it. But great art and really, really good production quality. So if this kind of more brutalist, visceral thing is your bag, this would be a good book to pick up. If you're not into that type of stuff, then probably stay away from it. Whether you pick this book up or not, if you've got some money to throw down and you want to see some more really good black and white art reproduction and you haven't picked it up yet, pick up The Strange Death of Alex Raymond. We still got copies of that out. And look forward to the book that Sean has forthcoming from Living the Line, Yuichi Yokoyama's Plaza, which is going to be a really like over-the-top crazy manga piece. Thanks for following along. Take it away, Jack.
You want to see all these books? Smash that subscribe button and the like button and the bell, and then you get them.